Warning: this video contains images of feral pests, in particular cats, being shot using a rifle of suitable caliber. Please do not watch if you are likely to be offended. If you choose to proceed and then complain, your post will be deleted. This includes verbal abuse, threats, and non-constructive criticism. Due to the constant negative responses I receive about me shooting feral cats on my videos, I've attached this Wikipedia link in the description below explaining why we shoot feral cats here in Australia. Tonight I've caught a break in the weather. Now to see if I can bag a few feral cats. I was requested by the landowner to come back out as the cat population has grown since my last visit here. And the landowner also mentioned that he'd seen a few foxes in the area. So once again tonight I'll be using my synthetic FX Crown chambered in 2.2, atop the ATN 4K Pro and the auxiliary ballistic laser. I'm also running the JSB Jumbo Heavies tonight for that extra hitting power. Let's get right into it. This cat was spotted as I came around the corner of one of the pig pens. I lined him up and placed the pellet straight between the eyes. I spotted the second cat off to the right hand side, but he didn't hang around long enough to get a shot in. So after a quick walk round, I spot this cat sitting up on top of the edge of the pig pen. I line him up and place the shot exactly where I wanted. This feral animal was deceased even before it left the wall. I spotted this cat up on top of the roof. I lined him up and once again placed the shot straight to the head. He took off running towards the other end of the shed, and this was only because of the adrenaline in his system. I went to the end of the shed to retrieve the body for disposal. So as the farmer said, there were foxes in the area, and I spotted this guy at well over 300 metres. I managed to call him in using the trusty silver fox whistle. With the full moon and not much wind, this took a lot of patience and I guess a little skill, and a considerable amount of time. I lost him for a short period of time, but he popped up behind some water tanks at about 50 metres. I then proceeded him to call into this 41 metre mark, where he sat for what seemed an age. I've sped this video clip up so you don't have to sit through all my whistling. It does twitch a bit, so I apologise for this. At this stage, the fox seemed to get a little bit nervous about the whistle, so I decided to change technique and went to a mouth squeak. The change in technique certainly had the desired effect. The fox decided to come trotting in towards me. "30 metres, then 24 metres. At that stage, I decided it was close enough for the air rifle to have the desired effect. I line him up and place the pellet straight above the left eye, straight down without a twitch. I'd only just retrieved the fox and got back to my shooting stick when I spotted this guy not that far away. He was being very cautious and didn't give me much of a target to aim at, but the first pellet hit home. I lined up for a second shot just to be sure, but I really don't think it was needed. After this cat, I headed over to the other permission to start on the pigeons. The first one was an upper body shot, and he managed to fly just outside the shed before hitting the ground. This second one wasn't so lucky. He went straight down. There are also starlings roosting in this shed, and I decided to make it one less. With the noise coming from the shed, I think this cat decided to come and investigate. Bad move, pussycat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So back onto the pigeons. This one was an upper body shot, and he seemed to take a little while to expire, so I put a second shot into the head and finished him off. So these last two pigeons I took quite quickly, the first one with a nice clean headshot. The second one wasn't so perfect. It was a lower body shot and he managed to get just outside the shed before he expired and went to ground. So with the pigeons too scared to come back into the shed, I decided to switch rifles and head out and see if I can find a few more feral cats. So I've switched over to my CZ 452 American chambered in .22. Atop the Nikon Sterling Air King, running Winchester PowerPoint 42 grain projectiles and the Night Sight Viper night vision scope on top. I initially spot this cat over by one of the silage piles and he takes off over to these hay bales. He must have felt pretty safe there, as he didn't seem to want to move. So I lined him up using the night vision scope, put the crosshairs where I wanted, and pulled the trigger. The projectile struck home. The cat twitched a few times and then landed in between a few of the hay bales. It made for a difficult retrieval, but I still managed to get him out. I had observed this cat for quite some time, waiting for that perfect shot. He failed to give it to me, so I had to line the crosshairs up on the back of his head and pull the trigger. Just as effective, I think. This cat was sitting quite contently on the hay bales. With the distance being so close, I had to allow for a little bit of hold under on this shot. This was to allow for the trajectory of the rifle projectile. As you can see, my adjustment was correct. The pellet struck home and there was a little bit of twitching from the rear end of the cat. But effectively, the brain was dead and this is all just nerves. So I spotted these two cats up on the hay bale. I managed to get a shot away on the first cat and he took off to the right hand side and expired pretty quickly. The second cat wasn't going to hang around to allow me to get that nice clean double. These next two felines are kittens, and yes, I know I'm going to cop some flack about why I'm shooting kittens, but they grow up into becoming big cats like mum and dad, and end up doing just as much damage. I spotted this cat at about 40 metres away, and all I could see was the eye shine straight between the bushes. Every now and then I got a glimpse of the second eye, so I lined up the shot straight between the pair of them and pulled the trigger. Initially I thought I'd missed this cat, but after retrieving the body from the hay bale, I realised that there must have been a second cat hiding behind him. And during editing of this video, I realised that this was the case. In the next slow motion, you can clearly see that the first cat goes down, and then a second cat appears and bolts out the hole to freedom. So a special thanks to my 2 permission owners for letting me come back out. So even with 2 permissions to shoot from, with no rain, clear skies and a full moon, I thought it was going to be difficult to get a few animals. However, I managed 5 pigeons, 1 starling, 1 fox and 15 cats. So guys and girls, thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. To get notifications of new videos, click on the bell. So with the number of subscribers to my channel getting close to the 3,000 mark, it looks like I'm going to be doing these videos for quite some time to come. But in the meantime, please stay safe and keep to social distancing.